Question number 4. A student investigated the density of different fruits. Now in this case, the investigation is related to density. So remind yourself there's a formula for density, and that is density equals mass divided by volume. Furthermore, the question also tells us they're talking about different fruits. Now what are fruits? They're not regular shaped objects. They have irregular shape. So if something has irregular shape, to find the volume of that irregular shape, we make use of displacement method. Here it says table 1 shows the results. So we've got different types of fruits, apple, kiwi, and so on, and they worked out the density for us. It says the student determined the volume of each fruit using a displacement can and a measuring cylinder. So the volume has been covered. There's mass that is remaining. Once we know the value of mass and volume, we can work out the value of density. Now it says, what other piece of equipment would the student need to determine the density of each fruit? To determine the density, we've already identified mass needs to be worked out. So I'm going to say balance. Next part says write down the equation which links density, mass and volume. We've already identified this equation. The equation is density equals mass divided by volume. I'm using symbols this time rather than words because they've given us this is the symbol for density, this is the symbol for mass, and V is the symbol for volume. Now the next part says the mass of the apple was 85 grams. So this is the value of my mass. Then it says the density of the apple was 0.68 grams per centimeter cube. This is the value of density. It says calculate the volume, which we do not know. Now remind yourself again, density could be in grams per centimeter cube, and density could also be in kg per meter cube. It depends what are the units for mass and volume that you have used. This will be the case when you will use mass in grams and volume in centimeter cube. This will be the case when you will use mass in kilograms and volume in meter cube. Now in this case, we've been given mass in grams and we've been given density in grams per centimeter cube. So if we use these two values, the volume that we will calculate, it will come out in centimeter cube. So no conversion is required for this question. All I need to do is I'll copy the equation again. Mass over volume. The value of density is known, which is 0.68. The value of mass is also known, which is 85. I do not know the value of volume. Now to make it easier for myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 in the denominator. Once I've put 1 in the denominator, I've got single fraction on both sides. I can cross multiply and solve. So if you cross multiply them, it will become 0.68 times V equals 1 times 85. We now need to get it off the 0.68 from the left side. I'll divide both sides by 0.68, 0.68. This will cancel out, leaving me with V only on the left side. And if you plug these values in your calculator, you will end up with an answer of 125 centimeter cube. Next part says the student only measured the volume of each fruit once. The volume measurements cannot be used to show that the method to measure volume gives precise readings. Give the answer why. So in this case, first thing we need to identify is what does word precise means. Precise means how close the readings are to each other. The readings to each other. Now in this case, they did this experiment only once. So it says why it cannot be shown. So we'll have to say must be repeated to show how close readings are. So basically you have to identify what word precise means, and once you've identified this, then the question becomes easier for you.